This is Darth Vader Unlimited with the second installment of Snap Hiss, the Dune Part 2 movie review. I've been looking forward to this movie since the first one concluded about 3 years ago, I believe. And the second one does not disappoint. I will say though, it doesn't live up to the hype given it either by other reactors and critics, who act as if it is a science fiction masterpiece. In truth, as good as this movie is, as well executed as it is, it doesn't offer me anything new or anything I haven't seen before. Now, is that a prerequisite for a great movie to give something that has never been seen before? No. But if you're going to call something a science fiction masterpiece, something about it has to stand out. And frankly, among the pantheon of great science fiction movies, this Dune Part 2 will not be included. And let's take my personal biases out of the way. I do not see Timothée Chalamet as a viable lead for a movie of this scale. I just don't. He whispers the entire movie, except when he's dressing down his mother. He doesn't use the Bene Gesserit voice too often, but he's shouting commands at the Fremen. He's speaking to Zendaya through most of the movie in that whisper. And even his entrance in the very third act, without spoiling anything, I almost wanted to say, are you here to sell Girl Scout cookies with rags on? There is just no build-up, no epicness to his arrival in the throne room where the Emperor, Shaddam IV, was played by Christopher Walken. When he enters, I'm like, why weren't you stabbed or shot multiple times when you entered by yourself? Speaking of emperors, Shaddam IV is wasted in this movie. Baron Harkonnen, played by the great Stellan Skarsgård, wasted in this movie. He's simply sitting around, and that's not a comment on his girth, but he's sitting, watching, talking. He's barely levitating, and for some reason he has these balloons when he's back on Gedi Prime, watching Fade Rotha emerge. And there's an ambiguous relationship between he and Fade Rotha. And no spoilers again, but is he on his side? Is he jealous of him? Does he see him as his secret weapon against Paul Atreides, or Muad'Dib, or not? Count Ruban, played by Dave Bautista, is wasted as well in this movie. The fierceness, the brutality that he showed in the first movie is gone. Is gone in this one. He's immediately turned into a coward by his uncle, of who he could break his neck quickly. I don't understand that one. And he is literally forced to eat crow and to kiss another character's boot. He runs away, he shies away, he's a throwaway character. Now Zendaya, to me, is probably the best character in this movie. Yes, I said it. She's the one that's almost leading the movie. She's giving narrative on Paul Atreides. She's the one that's sort of getting everything moving forward. Paul Atreides tells her he will always love her, and then he makes another remark. And then he's looking at Zendaya, almost to watch her reaction. And she does great acting with her face, Zendaya does. Because now you, the audience, are wondering, wait, how does Johnny, I believe her name is, how does she play into this conclusion of this movie? Zendaya did a marvelous job. I also like Paul Atreides' mother, Jessica. Now, a genetic reference is carried into this movie, but it is so quickly done and so insignificant that it lacks scale and scope. It does. And the demise of one major character in this movie makes the character equally pointless of being in this film. I was sitting there watching and saying, wait a minute. Did that just happen? It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. But all in all, this is a good film. I do not feel like I wasted my time watching this. I don't think I'm going to watch it a second time. But that shouldn't take away from how valuable and how much quality is in this movie. My favorite sequences are the guerrilla tactic warfare that the Fremen employ against these large Harkonnen spice machines in the desert. I was so satisfied with this. This was done very well. But I feel like the same care was not given to the final battle sequences of this film. The Emperor of the Galaxy is here in the middle of a desert, and it doesn't feel like he's protected at all. There are thousands, millions, billions of lives that he has control over, and he's just in this glistening citadel in the middle of a desert surrounded by these storms. Now, the worm taming and the worm riding of the Shai Hulud is done very well as well. I like the way it looks like they're almost jet skiing through the desert when you don't see the worm fully emerge. And I believe Shai Hulud is almost treated like a being rather than a creature. And I did appreciate that. All in all, this film, the Force is with it, but it is not a Jedi yet. In your vernacular, I give it a B. Very well done, very well executed, but lacking in the third act. The third act, to me, is messy and it falls apart. This is Darth Vader Unlimited. This is the second installment of Snap Hiss, my review of Dune Part 2. Snap Hiss will return. Give yourself to the dark side.